Hello, welcome back. Nice to see you. And always want to thank you, and I'm very grateful for all of you for watching my video, for sharing, for subscribing, and for commenting. So, today is expanding your awareness to see beyond your reality. So look beyond the outside and find yourself. Who are you? Who are you beyond the teachings, beyond the religion, beyond family programs? Who are you? We do have a choice of blindly accepting and following others or following your higher self. So, I have a poem that goes with the video, and I'm going to read it to you. It's called Expand Your Visions. When you take a peek, but look beyond your vision, you will find a surprise. There is so much more to see that's literally right before your eyes. Messages are there too. Elementals. Faces from the beyond, those that remember you. No one is ever lost or forgotten too, because your loved ones always surround you. Some you might recognize, others you don't, because you experienced times together long ago. We are all connected more than you know. Release your mourning to know. We are never lost or forgotten. We are energy. Energy never changes. It's here. It's free. It spreads widely from here to eternity. Expand your vision to see the beyond. So many magical experiences. Just wave your magic wand. It's really all about trusting what you see. It's all about you, your choice to believe, not to listen to others' negativity. Be you, be awake, be alive to see beyond the veils that are thinning so vastly. See, watch, believe, trust, receive. So the reason I'm assuming that this video is, or this message is important, because there are people around you you need to know about. And then there's the whole elemental kingdom. And they are in the skies, and they're not just animals or weird looking faces, because you will see that too, but you will see people's faces with hats or mustaches or women in dresses. Some you might even recognize. And who are these people? Like my poem says, my message says, these are people that you already know, but you don't remember. So you know how people point things out that you're not aware, and then because it's been brought to your attention, you now see it. Like, oh, the best example, and I always use this, is an automobile. Like, if a brand new car came out, you didn't know anything about it, that's fine. And then one of your friends bought it and told you, I just bought a blah, 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 and you never even heard of it, never seen it. But you know what? It's been right in your face, but you weren't aware of it. So even if it passed by you, you didn't see it. But now your friend brought it into your awareness. And then the next time you go on the road, you see it everywhere. And I know you can relate to this. This even happens to me. This happens to me like all the time. But it happened to me when I even bought my car. I bought a Mazda CX-5. Never seen one on the road. Told the salesperson, does anybody even buy this car? And he goes, oh yeah, tons of people buy it. And I thought, oh yeah, right, he's lying. But then I see it everywhere, all the time, everywhere. So this is what I want you to know, that the veils are lifting, and there's going to be so much in your face to see. And why not start now? Because it's reality. You know, in the past, so as you might know, I take a lot of photos, and I see so much, and I would point it out to people, and they always came up with some excuse of why I was nuts, I was crazy, or yeah, it means nothing, or this other one was, this person goes, well, I took photography in college and it's just the lighting. So you see, people have excuses for everything that they're afraid of, because really, why not open your mind to it? What is there to be afraid of? It's reality. There's so much magic here. And there's so much positive stuff here. If you don't know about it, how are you going to know unless someone such as myself draws it to your attention? And you can take pictures of the sky and the clouds and see all kinds of things. And if you don't see anything now, some people are not aware enough or open enough or believe enough, I guess, to not see it, then what you do is you ask. Everyone thinks that to do anything is so difficult, or there's so much work involved and I just don't have the time, or I have children, or I have family, or I have a job, and there's nothing to do it but ask. Everything is ask. And no one knows how simple it is. You just ask. Whatever you want, you ask. Now, I was led to the elementals 2014. After I found them and then I went back to old photos, they were all over my photos, but I wasn't aware. So I never noticed them, never saw them. So to me, it was brand new for me. And because my guides wanted me to totally awake to it, I wish I knew how to share photos here, because you would be absolutely amazed at the photos that I got in the past. I don't get them like that anymore because I guess I don't need to. But, and I do take a lot of photos because I love taking pictures. And you know, I personally just seem to have an eye for photography. I know how to frame things. But all the stuff that appeared in my photos wasn't anything that I saw with my eyes. I had to use my cell phone camera to see it. And then I had read somewhere that phones were designed for that purpose. So it's interesting how everything synchronizes. And when you start noticing synchronicities, then that's part of you, you know, spending some time in the fifth dimension. So it's a positive thing. So first, I saw them in the water. And so I just took a million photos of the water, and amazed of seeing animals and bears and people and human faces and people from the past. I have a photo of like a face from Egypt, but was wearing some type of a hat that looked like from the Nazi time. I don't know. It was a mixture. It's just amazing, but I just can't share them with you unless you come over my house, which that's not going to happen. So anyway, so I am telling you because I've already learned this, and I know that everything you think is heard. This is why I know. Just for instance, I was taking photos only of the water. I didn't make the connection at the time that they were elementals and that we're elementals. We are too, because in astrology, your sun sign is water, air, earth, or fire. And there are fire elementals, there's water elementals, there's air elementals, and there's earth elementals. So you see them in all those aspects. And so what happened was is I took these photos of the water, and then when I went into a different place, like walked into nature, but there was no water, I said, oh, I guess I won't see them here. See, so I never asked, I just talked to myself about it. Well, I guess I'll never see them here because there's no water. That's all I said. And then I snap a photo of these trees and all these wolves showed up. I wish I could show you that photo. But what happened was, is if you can imagine, it was summertime, so the trees, of course, were green. But then in the middle of the photo, it was a different green. And it was like a banner that went across my photo. And then it showed wolves. And you could see them clearly all across this banner. So I'm like, oh, wow, now I can see them. And so this is how it's been for me. I've always asked, I wonder, I wonder, I wonder. So I've gone into steps. So then after I saw them in the land, then I started taking pictures of the sky and I'd see them there. And then I started taking pictures of fire and I would see them there. And that's how I knew that we were all elementals. And what are elementals? What are they about? They're here to bring joy and laughter. There's too much seriousness that goes on around here. And anyway, so then, I would only see them in nature. So then I said to myself, I wonder, then I took there was another time I took a photo and it was the fall and they would go all over the trees. So now I can't see them with my eyes, but I would see them through the camera and they come out white and the tree was orange. And so they kind of blocked the color. So I just said, could you please just don't get upset, but I want to take this photo and I don't want you in my photo just this one time so I can get the pure color of this orange tree. So I snapped another picture and all of them were gone except one. And one was sitting on top of the tree and his face looked like SpongeBob. And his legs were crossed and he had his head down with a big tear rolling down his face. And it was so cute. But of course I said, no, it was just temporary. But you see, that's all I said. They heard me. They did it. And this is the other message. Anything you want to know, you ask. Anything you need, you ask. It doesn't even have to be about elementals. It's about anything. When you practice opening, awakening, and knowing that your life has been an illusion, but now you're headed to ecstasy and, ascension and all of that kind of stuff, it all happens in the time that it needs to happen for you. You don't accelerate it. You don't go out and pay people to increase it. You don't do any of that because it'll all happen in your divine timing. Now, so I'm just going to go on with some more of my experiences. So now I move away from that place into a whole different state and a whole different place. And I say to myself, well, I guess I won't see them here. And then bam, they started showing up again. Then I said, I really would like to see them with my eyes. Will I ever see them with my eyes? Now, before I moved, we could back up. I was traveling to meet my family. They were 3 hours away from me, and it was through a forest type of thing. And so I had to go to the bathroom, and the only place to stop was a campsite. And I'm sitting on the potty, And it's not an outhouse. It's a camping bathroom. It's only got for one person at a time, okay? And on the ground, it was cement, but there was pine needles, from the trees on the ground in this bathroom. And all of a sudden, they started to swirl like a little hurricane. And then they just splattered like pieces all around. And it turned, I swear to God, it turned into a squirrel. And the squirrel was about this big and just looked at me. And I'm like, oh my God, look at that. I see it with my own eyes. And it showed me all by itself. That was the most amazing experience I'll never forget. So now I'll fast forward again. So I happened to rent a place that had a shower with tiles, but not like white, just pure white tile. It was design tiles. And there they showed up in the designs. So I would sit in the bathroom and just watch my shower. And at that time, it had to be at a certain light. And so then I saw them in the shower. And then I saw them moving and talking and speaking, which this is really funny, but I think they mimic me because one time I turned off my video, the sound of my video. I watched it in replay, and my mouth goes pretty fast. It was going, and when I look at them, that's how they talk to me. So I think they're mimicking me because I can't understand or even read their lips because they're talking so fast. So they must see me that way, and so they mimic me back. Because when I wave at them, they wave back at me. You could sit around and be bored one day and just tap into a different dimension. What I do is I stare at something for a little bit, and that's when it changes. I can stare, and it's usually at night in the evening time, and I'll stare at a plant, and then all of a sudden the leaves are moving in the background, like the wind is blowing. And the plant isn't even a real plant. It's like a phony tree I have in my house. It's magical. So anyway, then I saw them there, and that was cool. But then I moved again. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't have that shower. I guess I won't see them anymore. Well, something drew me to go out in this patio. And at the time that I was in this place that I live right now, across the street was dirt. Unfortunately, they built a bunch of tall buildings and blocked out all my fun and all the sunsets and everything else. But anyway, I went outside before the buildings were built, and the whole place turned into a magical scene. In fact, they even allowed me to take a photo of it. So like I took a picture of the dirt, or and it was just plain dirt. And then the next picture was totally different. So you see, they can manipulate your photos too, is my point. And it's not a negative. Trust me, it's not a negative. Because there was lights and trees and all kinds of stuff in this photo that wasn't even over there. It was just amazing. But anyway, at that time, what I saw was there was a tractor over there, but I saw like children bouncing on the tractor, jumping up and down like it was a toy. And I saw adults, grown people that were dancing, and it looked like there was a big, huge haystack around them, and they were all in there together, and they were dancing. And one time, like a light shone on this woman's face, and she was totally human. And it was like, wow, why would she look human? Because I didn't know that was even possible. You see, this is how I learned, because I ask a lot of questions. And then I'd say, well, I guess I won't, or I hope I do, and then it happens. Because I have a relationship with my guides. because I trust them. I follow them always. I never ever ignore them. And this is why I get what I get. And you can do this too. So always trust your guidance. Always ask what you want. Always ask for everything. And I don't know how it'll work for you, but trust me, we're one. So if it works for me, it works for you. It might be a little different. Find out. It's fun. It's pure fun. So anyway, then they built the buildings, right? And they put plants in front, in front of their places. They're like 3-story buildings. But anyway, then I would go out there, and the plants turned into people. But it had to be like at nighttime with the lights shining, and so the plants turned into people. And then I would go outside and I would look at them, and we would dance and we would laugh and we would wave at each other and stuff. And also my floor has a design on it. It's like a brown floor, like a phony hardwood floor. So it has designs, and I can just sit and stare at the floor, and all of a sudden things come to life. I see creatures crawling. I see the ground going like this, and I see people's faces, or I see animals, and if I stare at it, it changes into something different. Something different. It keeps changing and changing. That's what it did in the shower. That's what it always does in that respect. But when I see them as like humans, they don't change. Now I have a huge basket of flowers that aren't real. So one night I decided to stare at my basket, and all the flowers turned into people. And the flowers turned into their clothes. So like you'd have the face attached to the flower, but the flower was like their hat. And then all the leaves and stuff would mix together and would turn into their clothes. I can't even explain. You have no reason to get bored. If you have fun in your life, open your mind and see what's right in front of you. So, the other reason why I'm sharing this with you is because you will be seeing this too. Now, people are already posting photos of things that they see in the sky that are so in your face, I know what it is. Some things you can't see. Now, I share my photos with my friend, and she doesn't see what I see, but she sees something else. So remember too, we're all unique, we're all different, and you might see things and try to show it to somebody and they won't see it at all, or they'll see something different. But guess what? That's okay. And the thing is that so many of you are afraid of things. And so I'm here to tell you, because it's going to happen, and it's already happening, for you to open up your awareness even more. Now, I also want to tell you that I wanted to see them in the daylight. So I said, this time I didn't ask. I didn't say I wonder, because now I already know I can ask and receive. No big deal. So I was walking home one day from taking a walk in the park, and there were bushes like in the distance, and I swear I saw human people in the bushes. So it was pure daylight, and I saw them with my eyes. So I started practicing, and I don't see them all with my eyes, but I see 90% of them now without my camera. And so I've expanded my visions. Does that make sense? This is what you want to do. You want to expand yourself beyond the veils. You want to see how life is magical, how the universe delivers. And all you have to do is believe it, trust it, and then you receive it. And ask for whatever you want. And it might not come instantly. You know, you could say like, well, I don't believe what she said. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to say, if elementals really do exist, I'm going to take a photo and I want to see them. I mean, you can do anything like that. That's all you need to do. And it's not just about seeing, and I call it reality, because when you're wrapped up in depression and fear and anxiety, you don't see reality. You see the illusion. You live in the illusion. You stay in fear-based thoughts. And trust me, there's people that I live around here that I try so hard to get them to change their fearful ways. They just refuse to do it. Don't be that person. You know, be who you truly are, because this is your truth. This is who you are. And for those of you who lost loved ones, that's another message here. They are everywhere. So like when I watch like The Voice, and somebody is just, you know, a young person who's a singer who's on The Voice, and maybe their grandmother or their grandfather used to sing with them, and then they cry because their grandparents or grandfather, whoever, has passed away, and they don't realize that they know. They see you, they hear you, they watch you, they're right here. So that's my other message. Everything is here, and eventually, when we all go to the 5th, we will see everybody again. But you can start seeing people right now. And you can see the elementals, and you can have a day of fun and enjoyment. If it's snowing outside and you can't go out, it's raining and you can't go out, you're sick and you can't go to work, or you don't work and maybe you're stuck in a wheelchair or whatever. These are things you can do to amuse yourself, because it's a positive thing, because they give you love and joy just by seeing them, just by knowing they exist, just by being around them. And isn't that what you want? Don't you want to be happy? Don't you want to be free? Don't you want to experience reality? It's funny how all my stuff goes right back into poetry. I think I even wrote one. Yeah, it's right here. When I was taking notes about what I might say, this turned into a poem. Now I'm doing this for you to learn to trust what you see, not listening to others' negativity, denials. It's never about anyone else, proving to people too. So become more aware of what's around you. So I hope you all have a great day. And I hope if you decide to expand your mind and see these elementals, if you would let me know. You know, if you do, that's great. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I would love to know that you see them too. Anyway, all of you have a blessed day. I'll see you next week. And in case I forget, the week of the from the December 21st to the 26th, there's a Tuesday in there. I will not be doing a video. I will be out of town with family for Christmas this year. So anyway, you all have a great day, blessed day, and look for your friends, your family and your elementals. Bye.